Please go to my website if you'd like to learn more about online therapy. If you'd like to speak to a therapist online via Skype, then you'll learn on my website exactly what I provide during these online therapy sessions to help you overcome your anxiety or depression or addiction or any other emotional problems that might benefit from mindfulness therapy. So I specialize in mindfulness therapy. This is a style of psychotherapy that I have been teaching for well over 10 years now, and that I find to be extremely effective for producing healing for anxiety and depression, and also for other common emotional problems like driving anxiety, OCD, and also I've had a lot of success with working with people suffering from PTSD and emotional trauma. The basic concept behind mindfulness therapy is not so much just talking about your emotional problems, but rather looking in detail at the structure of your emotions and also the relationship that you have with your emotions. These are the two major areas we work on during mindfulness therapy sessions. We look at the structure, and the structure of your anxiety or depression or other form of emotional suffering is very much maintained by a network of habitual reactive thoughts and beliefs as well. These are habitual. They tend to just operate automatically without our choice. They simply feed the anxiety or depression underneath. So examining that network of reactive thinking is quite essential. And with mindfulness, we begin to quite quickly break free from the habitual unconscious aspects of this structure of habitual reactive thinking. Once you see those thoughts very clearly, you can begin to exercise choice and decide not to pursue those reactive thoughts and not to identify with them. You can also learn how to work with the underlying emotion that is feeding those reactive thoughts, the underlying anxiety and depression itself. So this is where we build a relationship with our emotions based on mindfulness, and that means based on compassion. We learn to see those emotions as being objects that are in pain themselves. Strictly speaking, from a mindfulness or Buddhist perspective, it's not you that is suffering, it is the emotions themselves. You see these as objects in the mind that are like small fires that ignite and create suffering. Our job is to change our relationship to these objects so that we can help them heal rather than simply proliferate the suffering through reactive thinking. So we develop a compassionate relationship with any part of ourself that is in pain, any emotion that is in a state of suffering. We learn to treat it with kindness, with friendliness and compassion. These are tremendously powerful healing forces. Trying to get rid of painful emotions is a very weak approach that is generally, if not always, totally ineffective. You have to develop a conscious, friendly relationship with your emotions. That is what creates the right conditions for healing. It takes some training to do this effectively, but it's not that difficult, and most people see quite dramatic changes even within the first 2 to 3 sessions once they start changing the way they relate to their emotions. Once you start relating to your emotions with mindfulness, they will start to change quite rapidly. And we can help that change process. When the emotions are operating habitually in an unconscious state of conditioned reactivity, they can't change. They can only repeat themselves over and over again. But once you break that unconscious habitual aspect by bringing mindful consciousness to them, then they are able to change and heal quite quickly. So I will train you in how to do this if you choose to work with me. And like I say, you should expect to see quite significant changes within the first few sessions. If you would like to get started with me and you'd like to see for yourself how effective mindfulness therapy can be for overcoming and healing emotional suffering, then simply email me and let's schedule a session. I see people throughout North America and abroad. I see many people in the UK and Western Europe, but as far away as Australia. All you need is an internet connection and some device that can utilize Skype, whether that's a laptop or even a mobile phone, can work quite well for Skype therapy sessions. So if you'd like to get started and you'd like to make some really effective changes to your anxiety or depression, you'd really like to re-establish well-being and happiness in your life, then I strongly encourage you to look into mindfulness therapy. Please contact me if you'd like to get started with mindfulness therapy sessions with me. Thank you.